Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the Broken Sword. Well, Broken Sword, the Smoking Mirror. Let's go ahead and restore instead of continue because my fear might be if I continue, the game will say a lot more than 2 hours and 27 minutes of gameplay. We just talked to the general guy here and sort of just exhausted everything. What are we supposed to be doing? In a weird way, I think we're just kind of supposed to walk around and talk to people. And at 40% of the game, it seems strange that we'd just be left just wondering. But that kind of is how Broken Sword 1 and 2 were originally. And these remasters director cuts seem to have made it a lot more linear. Let's talk to Ronaldo. And made it easier, too easy at this point.
Hi, I'm George Stobbart.
Hello, senor. How can I help you?
So we'll just exhaust all the questions here and then we'll try to go down this way.
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I can't. The general would have a fit if I left all this paperwork.
So am I going to have to do something to help him with his paperwork?
Would you like a gourmet dog snack biscuit?
I would love one, senor. But I would have a problem with my teeth.
Toothache?
No, senor. If the general catches me eating on duty, he'll knock them out.
Wow.
Do you recognize this statue?
Tezcatlipoca. The night wind. Take it away, senor. That stone is cursed.
Okay, so we now think the place is cursed. This statue's cursed.
Do you know anything about this eclipse?
No, senor. El General keeps me in the dark about most things.
So long.
A little bit of a pun there. So, we have a filing cabinet. We have a safe. We have some papers. We could look at the
A filing cabinet stood in the corner. The filing cabinet was probably locked.
We can look at the papers. We've got a safe.
A couple of special offer
television.
letters were strewn across the desk.
Can I take these?
I had no need for junk mail, especially someone else's. The television was showing what appeared to be a low-budget soap. A tall man with long blonde hair was shouting at a woman who was naked apart from a towel.
Interesting. I don't see anything like that. I see potentially a tall man with long blonde hair. And then I see a man in a suit. Let's look at the monitor.
It was a computer monitor with some kind of outdated game displayed on it.
Let's look at the chart.
Senor. Leave the chart alone.
Interesting. Weird facial expressions. Weird facial expression. He looks like he's smiling like the Joker here. He's completely frowning there. Let's click on this.
I wasn't going to try investigating the passage while the general was sat there.
So it looks like there's some things we can do, but we're going to have to convince this area to be empty. And do some kind of combination of interactions. And this is just...
Why did you show him the stone?
I thought maybe he might know something about it.
Well, he does now, for sure. He knows we have it.
Oops. So either that was a mistake or that was part of the story and we needed to do that.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes. It looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the general didn't want us to see it. You came on a little strong with the general.
I was merely flattering his ego, George. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe, but that guy's weakness isn't in his foot. Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something? That man we saw talking to the general was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Oublié, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah.
Interesting.
It's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Claramonte.
So, I would say in dating, I seriously doubt that your girlfriend is going to be happy if you're insulting her male friends. And they're definitely not going to be happy if you start trying to get rid of all of her male friends too. George is acting a little jealous here for really no reason.
Would you like a biscuit?
Gourmet dog? Have you been eating those things, George?
Sure, they're great.
Now she's smiling, weird face, and smiles, and it seems like they spent a lot of effort to draw different facial expressions, and whoever drew them didn't do it subtly enough, perhaps? That might be the right term.
Guess what this is? Go on, guess.
It's wrought iron, probably from a chimney stack on an old stove.
Well, I suppose it could be. How did she know that?
My grandfather used to work in a foundry.
What's funny is she kind of responded to his line of thinking.
Take a look at this.
An eclipse of the sun. Why the sudden interest in astronomy?
I found the cutting in Ubier's house.
Apparently, it's only visible from Central America.
So, let's go down through the rest of these things.
Take a look at this.
I suppose I haven't shown these items to her before.
Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house. Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh.
So, again, that doesn't feel like that moved us any forward. And we're still at 40%. Let's just make our progress here. I click here to talk to this guy. Let's see if he wants to talk. I'm hoping at least a few people don't speak English.
Do you have crabs?
No, only fish.
Interesting. Let's buy fish.
Nice fish.
Thanks.
If by some remote chance I ever need a fish, I'll be back.
So, I guess we only need to come to this guy for fish.
Do you recognize this statue?
Si, senor. It is very, very bad luck. That is Tezcatlipoca, the night hunter.
I know, but I don't believe in luck, good or bad.
You may not now, but you will.
The guy looked scared out of his wits.
Go away.
We've got this goat over here. Let's talk to the band. At least we know what the statue is now.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
So, maybe we need to free the pipe player?
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Claramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why is it illegal?
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Tell me about the general. You know, the guy in charge around here.
We don't want to talk about him, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, only that old goat.
In Quaramonte we have a saying, don't tell your old goat what you don't want your wife to know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Would either of you guys care for a biscuit?
A dog biscuit, senor?
Are you trying to insult us?
No, really. They're good.
We'll take your word for it.
Continue down this path, I suppose.
Have
It'd
you
be kind
any
of
idea
silly to
what
quit
this is?
halfway
No,
through.
senor.
Me neither.
Have you seen anything like...
I, the hungry chief.
Why are you carrying that thing around with you, senor? Don't you know who it is?
Sure, it's Tezcatlipoca. But it's only a little carving.
It brings death, senor. Death and destruction.
Interesting. So if I ever need
Take a
to
look at the
terrify the
design on this
locals, I
label.
know I
have
can use
seen that
that.
before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
And let's continue asking questions.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We play to the tourists.
Well, when the Condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
Do you guys know anything about a total eclipse?
What is it?
It's like when the sun is hidden by the moon.
It's crazy.
My cousin Alfredo swears he saw it happen once. But that was after he stupidly consumed a cocktail of peyote and antibiotics.
Would Central American people be taking peyote? I don't know about that. And so we've got one more man here. We've got a woman here. Let's, I suppose, continue down the questioning. A lot of talking going on here. Very much like the Irish area. The Ireland
Those things are gourds, aren't they?
area where
See.
there's just this
Hey!
long
Mind the footwear, lady.
this long period in which we were talking to everybody in the bar for very little reason until we found the one person that was important to the story. This isn't a way to do a
Hi.
point-and-click adventure
Wanna
game.
buy something?
And most
No,
point-and-click
not really.
adventure games
I got
don't
cabbages. Buy
do
cabbage,
this.
senor.
I don't think so. I didn't come all this way to buy
It's-
vegetables.
It's a waste of animation resources and voice actors resources to have so many characters.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Aye.
It's more
Tezcatlipoca.
realistic.
Put it away, senor.
Certainly to have more
Tezcatlipoca brings
people
nothing but evil.
around the market that you could
The
talk
poor
to.
guy was so freaked, he didn't even mention his cabbages.
See ya.
So it's like 3 different options here to make sure we know about the statue.
Hi. Lovely bread.
Que?
Bread, pain?
Si, pan.
Maybe I'll come back later when I'm hungry.
So maybe she'll give me some bread, maybe some bread, gourd, and a fish. You've got this whole market implying that you're going to end up with 3 different items. I wouldn't be surprised if in the remaster or even in the original game
Hi there.
you don't
What have you got for sale?
actually pick up any of them.
I said, what have you got? Oh, never mind.
And so he doesn't speak English either. That solves that one. Like, it could be that in the original game you did end up getting bread and a gourd and a fish. It could also be that in the remaster version we don't get any of those. You'd think possibly with the goat there was a reason to maybe feed him to get him out of your way or something. Alright. Can't do anything with the goat. Let's go up here to the mining
Hey,
company.
Nico!
Now. We're gonna have to make some progress somehow, otherwise we're just stuck in this area. Look at this. Wearing ties and dress shirts.
Hola, señora.
Hi. We were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, Chico.
Interesting.
Hi, my name is Nico Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Quaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobbart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Interesting. So, then she just throws it back to me. Seems like this is a prime opportunity. We could have just had Nicole ask some questions and have the story be written slightly differently instead of George's general stupidity.
Have you heard of a man named Karzak?
No? Who is he?
He's the reason we came to Quaramonte. We think he's running a drug ring.
Well, I hope you find him, but I've never heard the name before.
Can you tell me about the accident at the mine?
Accident? It was sabotage. Somebody wanted my mine closed down for good.
Interesting.
Do you have any evidence that the mine was sabotaged?
Not yet, but I'll get to the bottom of it. There'd been trouble at that mine for several months. The workforce was getting smaller every day. Someone had started a rumor among the men that the mine was cursed. Now the entire operation has been closed down.
A lot of typing in the background here.
Where's the site of the mine?
Several days upriver at a remote area known as Teoculcan.
Do you know Professor Ubier?
Yes. I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the general. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the general be interested in an archaeologist?
Smooth fan animation spinning in circles. Kind of almost a waste of resources, honestly. For a fan, it looks a little too fancy compared to the 2D animation. In comparison, when you look at like this pile of paper here or the edges of the monitor, somebody spent a lot of effort on that.
Would you like a dog biscuit?
Would you like a smack in the mouth, Chico?
Does this stone mean anything to you?
I think it is a spirit stone carved by a Mayan priest, no? I don't know which of their many gods it represents.
Let's ask about this.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
Let's ask him about Condor Transglobal.
Do you recognize the icon on this label?
Condor Transglobal.
Did the company operate here in Quaramonte?
Yes, they ran an old container ship, the Mayan Princess.
Do you know who owned Condor Transglobal?
I've no idea.
Have you heard about the forthcoming eclipse?
I don't take much interest in things like that. One of the boys might know about it.
And then we'll ask about the underwear.
Would you be interested in these panties? They look about your size.
Is that your best line, Chico?
I'm serious. They were an unwanted gift.
Put them away before you get overexcited.
So we could talk to the secretary, or we can look in the cupboard, or we can talk to multiple other secretaries. So let's just start here and go here. Why would you need 4 secretaries? That's too many secretaries. Let's ask about the eclipse and Karnak.
Do you know anything about the eclipse?
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I heard it's going to be pretty spectacular.
It's in a few weeks' time, isn't it?
9 days.
Thanks.
So if we are going to play this game to the point of the eclipse, we're going to have to jump it forward in time. 9 days.
Ever heard of a guy called Karzak?
No.
They could probably easily achieve that by just having us travel to a remote destination.
Ever hear of a guy called Karzak?
No, sir.
He's mispronouncing the name. Once he said Karnak, once he said Karnak.
Did you know there's an eclipse of the sun
think.
in a few weeks' time?
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe told me about it. He's having a party and we're all invited. Me and the boys are dressing up as evil monks.
Yeah? Cool.
It's a little weird. They have this forward animation here, and then they have a window. Almost like this was drawn, and it was going to be closed windows, and then they decided, no, we actually need to be able to click on this secretaries. I could see there not having anybody on this side and just one secretary. That'd make a lot more sense.
Are you looking forward to the eclipse of the sun?
Not especially. Are you?
I don't know. I've never seen one. All I know about eclipses is that you shouldn't try to view them with the naked eye.
Please, go away and let me get on with my work.
It's a waste of voice actors, really, writing in 3 extra characters that don't seem like they're going to play any real part in the game.
Ever heard of a guy called Karzak?
Can't you see I'm busy? If I don't finish this stock report, the boss will be mad as hell.
Stock reports from a mining company. Let's try the cupboard. Conchita. I suppose that's her name.
Keep out of there.
So again, if I'm gonna
That's where
get
the
any
explosives are
things,
stored.
ooh, explosives. I'm gonna have to empty out this room. I don't know how we could do that. And here we're waiting for it to load up the dialogue.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Consolidated Mining. If you are planning to stay in Quaramonte City, may I recommend the Consolidated Mining Experience, an interactive hands-on tour of one of our deepest mines, with talking tour guides available in 3 different languages.
A tour of a mine.
Well, this is a mining company. What else did you expect?
A tour of a mine wouldn't be terrible if it's a good mine and they've set it up.
Do you know anything about the eclipse that's
I think
due
I've been
soon?
on a tour
Me?
of a mine.
No, senor.
At least once.
Do you know where I could find Senor Karzak?
No, senor.
4 people there that clearly gave us no information and did not help us one bit. One person that maybe helped us, but we're still at 40%. So we can kind of tell there's a significant number of events that you can do that aren't counted as a percentage. I bet it's actual actions that move the percentage forward, and maybe this is the point where the game stops being very action heavy and starts being dialogue heavy, which you shouldn't have such a distinctive breakdown of the game. You shouldn't have one section where you do nothing but talk and one section where you do nothing but have action happen. Let's talk to Pearl and see if there's anything new here.
Have you met the guy who calls himself the General?
No, I haven't. Is he a real general?
I guess so. He wears a lot of medals on his chest. The wrong side of his chest. At least for any army I'd ever seen. Catch you later, Pearl.
Interesting. So let's look at the cell window. Maybe we can
The cell was
pull
vacant.
pull the windows down.
There was a forlorn-looking guy asleep on the floor of the jail. It was Miguel, the pipe player. Hey, Miguel! He didn't hear me.
So, do I have any items that would allow me to tie into this truck? No. Let's go talk to Ubier. I guess we haven't talked to him.
Professor Ubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobbart. George Stobbart.
We've got a ton of stuff to ask him. Let's go.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazakh, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Interesting.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
So do we continue down this route, or do we ask if he killed her?
Maybe you don't, but I do. Why was she known as the Little Dachshund?
It was just a silly pet name I used to call her. Somehow some damned reporter found out.
Interesting. I guess I only had one choice there, so I guess neither one of those bits of information matter.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good. I can't get enough of these things. Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
That's my business.
How much do you want for it?
It's not for sale. Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh, yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
A Central American god, right?
A supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There.
That's the name of the game.
You see the mirror shield in his left hand? The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims. And victims they gave him by the thousand.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices. The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
Wow, a long pause in the middle of that dialogue.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
Interesting response.
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not the reason I'm here in Quaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
And we have, I guess, a couple more questions.
What's your interest in the eclipse, Professor?
Oh, it's purely a layman's curiosity. History is my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Let's keep questioning.
Does the eclipse have some special significance for you?
From me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobbart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
What plot?
Interesting.
I have no idea.
He's still trying to play it innocent. So we did all that conversation and didn't go a single percentage first. And the hint is at I'm in the police station, what next? Which I think implies I probably should go back to the police station. I'm going to talk to Dwayne first and see if maybe I have some kind of item or something I can use. But we'll have to do all of that in the next recording. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, There's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.